Howdy, howdy, Gemini, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So for those of you who are returning, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, and your shares. I greatly appreciate it. And for those of you who are new, you are in for an awesome journey. So what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into this thing. Your space has been cleansed, gems have been cleansed, we are ready to rumble. Gemini, I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. It's giving 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to be the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes. The bottom left is going to be some perspectives to consider in relation to the nature of the problem. And then the bottom right is going to be how your higher self is, or what messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you're curious, I'm using the Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The art on these cards are really cool, so I'll make sure to give you close-ups of those throughout. So without further ado here, we're going to get fancy, Gemini. I'm feeling switching up today. Let's see what your higher self has in store for you. Ooh, has in store for you this week. Nice. All right, Gemini, things are looking good. Your higher self or the spirits are busy. Oof, Gemini. All right. Yeah, a lot of major arcana cards here. Good deal, Gemini. Let's see. Let me get these organized and we're going to jump right into this thing. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let me. Am I going to keep leading you on, Gemini? Let me just get to it. So the nature of your problem is the sun. And then the cards that came with it are the 3 of disc and the 5 of disc. So we're looking for happiness this week, Gemini. I think Virgo also, this was one of Virgo's problems. So, again, this is not a bad problem to have. You know, I feel like you want to be happy. And I think that's very fair. You know, the sun, I mean, I don't need to explain the sun to you. The sun is brilliant. You know, this is happiness, victory, all the good, warm, fuzzy, lovey things. Like, that's what the sun has to offer. You know, this is, you know, I feel like you're trying to figure out how to be that sun, how to shine, you know, like that, you know, how to, maybe you've been seeing other people around, you know, you got that one person's like, man, they're always in a good mood all the time. How do I do that? Gemini, that is totally inside you, and we are going to get down to it this week. I was Virgo's cheerleader this time. I do not mind being yours too. You know, the cards that came with it, so this 3 of disc, this is a card about work. Because, you know, happiness takes some work. You know, even though the sun is shining every day, and you can, that could be a start. You know, if you're looking for happiness, start with the small things first. Greet the sun every morning, just like, hey, sun, I'm happy to see you. I know you're happy to see me. Just like, you know, taking those little steps. I feel like any attempt towards positivity is never too small. And I feel like with this 3 of disc, it's just asking you to do that. It usually can be a card of like projects too, which wouldn't that be a fun project? All the fun ways you can find little pockets of sunshine throughout your day. I would love that, Gemini. I think I'm going to do that today. Let's do that today. Let's do that today. Or, you know, when you get this, Gemini, know that I'm looking for pockets of sunshine with you, okay? And then we got this 5 of disc here, which I've been telling people this, you know, when you get like quote unquote negative cards, you know, I feel they're less negative more per se and more of a where can mindfulness be addressed? You know, where can we shine a little sunlight on something? You know, I feel like this is but the 5 of disc is about worry. You know, more specifically, it can be about monetary anxiety, but just in general, it's just about being worried about, maybe we're thinking about bills. Maybe we're thinking about, you got, maybe you've got crazy stuff going on for work this week, house projects, children, whatever these worries, anxieties are coming up. I feel like this is just kind of shining this week on, maybe let's try to return to the present, because the thing with anxieties and worries, usually it's about future stuff. I'm not worried about things in the past. They've already happened. So I feel like this is calling you to, let's try to be in the present a little bit more. I will never say like ignore, things, because it's not going to go away. If you ignore it, it's going to fester. But, if you go about this thing like, okay, well, I have, X due at this time, but that's next week you's problem. This week you's is trying to find that sun, so that next week you can deal with that a lot better. Because if you're coming at things with sunshine, that rather than 5 of disc, bet things are going to go a lot better, because your headspace will be, you'll just be in a better mindset. You'll be, you'll be that sun, you'll be able to, you'll permeate that energy, and then your environment will reflect that. So hopefully that makes sense. I won't spend too much time for this, but know that it's coming. The fact that you're even thinking about it, the sun's already, it wants you to have it. So yeah, just take this time this week, find those pockets of sunshine, be more in the moment. Let's appreciate this time. Let's take when you find yourself getting overwhelmed, I like to think of it as like a mob in your head, just everyone's yelling at once. Let's go inside, let's put everyone on mute, and let's just take a second and breathe, just okay. And then, I tell you, that little pocket, hell, look at that. I just found a little pocket of sunshine over here. Cat sleeping on the bed. Come on, Gemini. There are sun moments, pockets of sunshine everywhere. So I'm going to leave that there. Let's go ahead and move to some future options here. Let's start with, I think I'm going to start with the upper right. So for the upper right hand corner, I pulled the Prince of Disc, the Magus, and the Priestess. So I think that's really cool. I like that. I really like the order of that too. You'll see why. It's all about anticipation. I'm building this up for you, Gemini. So with the Prince of Disc, I like the Prince of Disc. He's my card of like patience, stability, responsibility, perseverance. He's got his shit together. He knows what his goals are, and he's going to take the necessary steps to get there. No matter how fast or how slow, he's going to get there. I have to verify this, but I definitely get some, I wonder why, but I get some Taurus energy here. But, so some of you might have some earth in your chart, and I don't know if I mentioned, but the princes, and you got a couple queens here as well. But the princes and the queens can represent people too. Not necessarily, this isn't a gender specific reading, so, take it as it resonates. But I like to say, if it does represent, if it's representing people, apply it to yourself first and then expand out on that, because you're nuanced, Gemini. I mean, you're the twins, so if anything, yeah, I got the Gemini moon. So, there's a whole bunch of sides to us Geminis. So, I feel like that, but that all to be say, I feel like, with him popping up, this really is kind of emphasizing this work. This is, happiness doesn't grow on trees, but it does grow in you. So we can, take that time, don't give up on that, Gemini. It's coming, and it's going to be, how do I want to say this? I feel like, yeah, sometimes it's going to, sure, when you see the finish line, you just want to be there and skip the whole journey, where every moment getting up to that finish line has its own significance. It really builds up into this moment. And I feel like, let's go ahead and move on to this Magus card. With the Magus being here, normally he's about, his deal's about manifestation, really kind of manifestation that's like nascency. Everything it's all good and chaotic. He's just creating shift left and right. But he's doing, yeah, I don't know if you can tell. Look at this big old smile that this guy has. He's having fun while he's doing it. And I feel like with him popping up here in this instance, this is saying, sure, it might be something where it's going to ask for patience and stuff. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun in the process. You saw how we were creating pockets of sunshine here. Create your own pockets of sunshine. Sometimes you don't even got to look for it. So let's manifest that. You got that power. Putting that positivity out there. It's like, what? I think I'm going to. I don't know, I'm going to say 5 nice things about myself throughout the day, and that's going to be like the mantra, or like look for ways that I really kicked ass this day, and just, make little milestones, just something that this process doesn't feel so arduous, let this, that's really what, I won't dig into him just too deep, because that's really what I'm getting with that. It's just have fun while you're doing this, Gemini, because that's the whole point. Sun is about happiness. If you can't have fun while you're getting there, then we're still worried, and we're done being worried. And I feel like, I love that the High Priestess is here. Well, she's just a regular priest. She's not that high. She's the High Priestess in other decks. This one, she showed up ready for work. And she's about refinement. She's about like really channeling your intuition, being able to handle that fluctuation that life throws at us, that sunshine and that worry. She's balancing that, or let's talk about this work. That work aspect of it, this worry part of it. She's just any kind of like opposite. She's just like, I'm just going to throw everybody down here. She's just balancing all of this. She's like, okay, you've been manifesting your sunshine. We got our pockets. Now let's make a whole sun. We don't want pockets anymore. Now we're really trying to make this whole image happen. And that's the High Priestess. She's saying, I feel like with her being here, this is just saying, trust your instincts, go with your gut. What makes you happy. Don't worry about what other people are saying, because everyone's going to have an opinion about everything. But just because they may not see it as something that would work for them doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you, Gemini. So definitely use that. Come into yourself, come into that skill, get those manifestations, let's manifest that shit. Because look at this down here. She's got like a cornucopia down here. We got bananas, got grapes, we got diamonds, and I bet you it was all brought by this camel, because that's how she willed it. So that's what I'm getting with this, in the silliest way possible. That's what I'm getting with this, on the right hand side here. Now, let's move on to the left hand here, because this is really cool too. I really like this left hand side. So for this one, we have the Queen of Cups, the Universe, and the Queen of Swords. Queen of Cups. I'm partially biased because I really do. She might be my favorite queen, and it's not just because this is one of Cancer's cards. But what I like about the Queen of Cups is when she's described, her influence. She's impressionable by other cards' influence. So you would think that, like, and that's kind of similar to when you think about like a Cancer. They're very emotional. We take the energy in the room and kind of make it our own, and like really kind of and then like expand that out. But with the Queen of Cups, she's not just like, she doesn't just take on everyone's energy, and then she's not just like, when a 5 of disc energy is coming around, she's not wallowing in 5 of disc, because 5 of disc don't have space in her. Look at this. Look at how serene her background is. She's got this still water. These lily pads imported. She got this. Well, maybe this stork brought it here. But. She's shrouded in mystery and she's very dreamy. She's like an observer. People come to her when they need to get back to equilibrium. When you want that stillness, that calm, that zen, that's Queen of Cups. And I feel like with her popping up this week, this is her kind of saying with this, because this is really the only kind of mindfulness card that I'm seeing here. Maybe with this moon card. We'll get there in a minute. But with this 5 of disc here, she's not taking that on. No one's people bring this to her to assuage this. And I feel like that's what this Queen of Cups is asking of you, to become that force, to not let your sanctuary be disturbed. Take that, process it, give this, again, never ignore it, give it its space, but transmute it, make it work for you. Let's channel that Empress or that Priestess energy, refine that so that your space stays. Oh yeah, I like these two here. And yeah, just refine that. And the nice thing too, Gemini, with the future, it's all about the present. What you do in the present shapes your future. So if you want that happiness and such, manifest it. This is, and play around with it. Just because I only have 2 things here, I'd have more if I had a bigger table. But, this is, you might like all these queens over here. You may not be feeling real patient at the moment, but we can still pull some. Maybe we could pull a little refinement. Maybe we could pull a little manifestation here, throwing that work. And then, whatever equation gets you to the sun, mess around with it, Gemini. Because that's what the Magus does. He plays around with things. And that's what the Empress, then the Empress is going around and getting everything tight. So that's what I'm feeling with this Queen of Cups being here. And I like that with the universe is coming. This is the big picture. This is end game. This is what this is how have we taken the sun and how have we let this permeate throughout your world. This is a card of just like that. We've come to a close. We've reached the end here, in a sense that this is the finish line. And now it's like I was saying with that Queen of Cups, taking that space and making that your own, letting that not look at what she's creating here. I really feel like if you take that Queen of Cups with that, add that with that Magus and I don't know why, because I want to make you an Empress is what's really going on here. But my point with the universe, this is you reaching endgame. This is you really seeing your big picture here. Your sun is shining. Look at you doing your dance here. This is a really cool card. I really enjoy the universe, and I think that with this, and I only say I think that because this, the swords are about intellectual matters, and the Queen of Swords is about, she's about removing. Kind of like really getting out of your head. She's in, and she's like, whatever's, picture this as your 5 of disc. If it's not serving you, if it's not serving her a purpose, bet you she ain't gonna deal with it, because she's sitting on a throne of clouds. And if this 5 of disc is weighing her down, she's going to fall through that clouds. And look at this girl. She is too proud to be falling through some clouds. She's got a baby on top of her head. She ain't got time for that. So we're going to, anything that's not serving her purpose and interfering her with that crystal clear, with that universe image, getting in that, anything that's like blurring that big picture, she is not about it. I really like the Queen of Swords as well, but it's just like this really realization of, what did they call her? The liberator of the head. That's what they call her. This is really you kind of like, okay, now I get how to get this sunshine. And with her being in the clouds, it's literally right next to you, Gemini. So yeah, that's what I'm getting with this, with the Queen of Swords as well. So definitely play around with this future, Gemini. This is some cool stuff here. I really like that. So I don't think I'll spend too much longer here. You all yell if there's something else that I need to tell Gemini. So let's move on to some perspectives to help you get there in dealing with your problem. And maybe I'll work on some perspectives to fix that sentence. So, with what I pulled for the perspectives, you have the 6 of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Moon card. Now, with the 6 of Swords, for me is about, you really kind of gotten things down to a science in a sense. Like, this is like about directed knowledge, very, really kind of like honing that it's like honing a skill and like achieving that mastery is what I get with the six of swords. I feel like we've gotten, you've been thinking about this, and it's like, how can we get out of this? What can I do to alleviate this? And I feel like, whatever the skill is that you're perfecting, or that refinement, whatever you're refining here, I feel like that's going to I really feel like that's going to help you get closer to finding that happiness, because now we're going with intention. This is we see, now we're like putting down like a list. Maybe this might for some of you, if you have troubles, like maybe figuring out how to get to this sun moment, figuring out what necessarily, what work is required, what are all the steps. Write some stuff down. I know for me, like if I don't write it down, sometimes it feels like it's just hovering around in my head, and every now and again it's just for certain thoughts. It's just like, let's grab that lasso, reel it in, tether it down, put it on paper, because I feel like once you're able to see it, it's it's less abstract, and then it's like, okay, once I do X, Y, and Z, because some people are some like to just kind of go with the flow, kind of just like, we're just gonna throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. Others might need a little more structure. Make it work for you, Gemini. There are more than one ways to, I don't like that expression. There are more than one ways to achieve a sun moment. That's the expression we're gonna go with. We're not skinning cats. Moving on to this, yeah, we're moving on. Moving on to the Knight of Cups here. The Knight of Cups, for me, I feel like with him, he's kind of like the type, once you've achieved that happiness, he wants to share that with the world. He gives me he's very compassionate, very loving, still has that masculine energy, but it's a softer energy that, like, I feel like with him bearing this cup, this is his strength, or this is what this crab here is supposed to represent, his like the power of the ocean. And he's wearing it on his sleeve pretty much. He's just like presenting this. And I feel like with this, with this being here, I feel like it's saying, once you've achieved that sun, share that, spread that love. He's gone through this process of like all that refinement, dealing with his problems. So now that he's just like, he's really, to me, just kind of like compassion. If I had to, compassion personified, really. Because now he has the tools. He's gone through the experience, and now he wants to share his strength and what he's learned with others, so that everyone else can kind of feel in this Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords energy. That's what I feel like that's what his end game is. He's definitely about, he wants to spread the love a little bit, because what's the point if he's enjoying this but everyone else is miserable? So that's what I feel like with what I'm feeling with this Knight of Cups here. And then with the Moon, I like the Moon. The Moon is about it's about illusions, maybe some illusions and deceptions that we might tell ourselves, or that might be presented with us. It's also a card of voluntary change. So I feel like this is either, it could be two things too. You could look at it as, maybe, whatever this, where'd it go? Got buried in the cards here. Whatever this Five of Disc is, shattering that illusion, facing that maybe it's not as bad as, again, it could not be as bad as you think, or there might be, once once you're back in the present, and that monster kind of gets a little bit smaller, and then this illusion starts to drop. Imagine this is, on the other side of this moon is your sun. If you were to come up to this gate, it's a little intimidating at first. And this gate, this is the Five of Disc as a gate, so stay with me. But, you come up to this thing, you got these two Anubis figures here. Do I really want to go through there? Because these guys might cut my head off. But really what's going on, it's like, look at this. Do you think that I feel like if they really wanted to guard this moon, they'd be standing in front of it. This is looking like a welcoming to me. It's all about your perspective. And I feel like once you shatter that illusion, you'll be able to go past that, because the moon is inviting you. It's not, I feel like the moon doesn't want you to be scared of anything. It wants you to embrace that, ooh, I almost like that better. I feel like this is more kind of like embracing that mystery a little bit. Maybe you're not, it's been a while since you felt happy. It almost feels like happiness can't be for me. That's something that other people do. And it's like, no, Gemini, there's happiness. I had enough happiness for you too. Bet. And you just got to walk through it, embrace that mystery. What's so mysterious about this sun? Go see. Because I promise, I bet it's going to be, it's going to give you the warm and fuzzies, Gemini. I'm excited. All right, let's go ahead and move to what your higher self has to say to you. Because the higher self has got some good stuff for you here too. Oh, higher self. Oh, there I go again, doing that, building that anticipation. So, Gemini, for what your higher self wants you to know, you have the Hermit here, the Fool, and the Art card. Now, with the Hermit, I love when the Hermit and the Sun pop up together, because then I get to do this. So, let me not spoil it. So, when it comes to the Hermit is about introspection. This is about going in and really kind of assessing, what is it that's been, what is it that I need to deal with so that I can get this sun out? It's a really good time for reflection. What has been, have you been really stressed this week? This really is just kind of like, I feel like this is your higher self just asking you, just like, Gemini, how are we doing? Have we done some like inventory in a while? Have you gone out? Have you got your hair cut? Have you been able to shower regularly? Are you feeling just like, are you good? And I think that at least I feel that with this Hermit here, this is just asking you to, get that happiness, get your mind right, because you see this sun here. Once you take that time to get out there, the sun pops out, and who doesn't want that? I tell you, I love that this is the nature of your problem. This is my favorite combo here, and I feel like after you get through this introspection, it's gonna be a brand new journey, because that's what the Fool's about. The Fool's about, and not just a journey. He's going into this journey, or at least I should say they, because this is more of a he's an androgynous figure, so. They're getting ready to go out and get this thing. This is not just the start of a journey. I feel like this is like that enthusiasm to start something new. It's not just like you're starting something just because you want to, or just because you have to. You're doing this because you want to. This is that voluntary change that I was talking about. Here we are. We've saw through the illusions. We've taken time to reflect, and sorry, this card's a little wet. We've taken time to reflect, and now we're getting ready to go on the journey. And we're not worried about, look at this we're going to call this Tiger a 5 of disc now. Look how this 5 of, see how sneaky that 5 of disc is? It'll morph into all kinds of stuff. But look at that. He could be a tiger, not bothered. Could be an alligator, still not bothered. They're looking at this, they got this rainbow swirling around here, and just like all this, I don't know if you can see in his hands, got this fire, we got diamonds. It's just like the opportunities are endless, and he's so excited. And I feel like this is asking you to go about this, finding this happiness. That's exciting, Gemini. Your higher selves want you to get pumped. I want you to get pumped. I'm feeling it. So, yeah, that's what I'm feeling with this Fool card here. And then with the Art card being here, the Art card is about, this is the finish of the alchemical marriage, which is the Lovers. That's your card, and this is we've reached the finish line. Now we're manifesting shit. We're creating it. Everything is coming together. You've been calculating. We've meditated. We've gotten things down to a science. You've been doing all this work. Now we're creating sunshine. That's what we're doing, Gemini. And how awesome is that? You know, what did you do this week? Oh, I don't know. Just making it bright everywhere I go. But yeah, Gemini, that's here, let's go ahead and I think is there anything else? No, let's go ahead and transition. Oh, that was not as smooth as I would have liked it, but hey. Yeah, Gemini, I like this reading. This was really nice. And I'll say like what I told Virgo as well, because I had said that, this is a good problem to have, but I don't want to make light of this problem because finding happiness can be hard. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it, but everyone can do it. That's the fun part about this. It's just, once you start putting in that work, it's like, what do they say? It's like, it takes 17, 21, it takes a certain amount of time to build, a habit. And what a better, this could be a time, to make some good habits, to really build upon that. Let's get out of this. Let's not stress anymore. We ain't got time. The sun's not stressing, so why should you stress, Gemini? So yeah, that's what I want to, yeah, I'm going to leave. I like that. You like that? I like that. So hopefully this resonated with you. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit that bell button. I drop videos every Sunday. Time varies. I'm still trying to lock that in. I'm going to play around with that some. Keep you on your toes. And while we're at it, check if you need a more complete sentence. I need a complete sentence. And if you want a complete picture, check you already know your sun. We're here, Gemini. Check your moon, check your rising. And I've been telling people in your channel, check your Venus this week, and see how that applies to you. Because that might be, I feel like any way, any information to get you to know yourself a little bit better is definitely going to get you towards that sun card. So, yeah, I like that. So, now on to one of my favorite segments, Celestial News Weekly! Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It's become a game now. I'm trying to figure out how ridiculous I can make that intro so that I can get everyone as excited for it as I am. Because, normal news can be a little depressing sometimes. So now I'm trying to bring some exciting cosmic news. And what I've been telling people, it's like, this may seem a little extra, but you check the weather before you go out to do anything. So why not check the cosmic weather before you, go do anything? Get that sun. If you know where the sun's at, it makes it a lot easier to find it. But let's move on. So on 10/17, that'll be tomorrow. Was that Monday? It's the last quarter moon. And the last quarter moon represents like transitions, things coming to completion, letting go. We're letting go. Let's get this off our back, Jim. Isn't this heavy? Let's put that down. Someone else can pick that up. But this is also about taking responsibilities for your mistakes and for your accomplishments. Finding that balance, because you can't. These moments of mindfulness and the happy moments they have to, they're ebbing in, they're going in a circle. This is me ebbing and flowing. But, the priestess, she's handling it. She knows how to work in that space. So, while you're celebrating that, don't get too caught up in your mistakes, use them as lessons so that we can have more accomplishments. Next, I know I went retrograde heavy last week, so we're keeping it light this week. I'm introducing a new one. If you're not familiar with it, Chiron is in retrograde right now. And for those of you who don't know what Chiron is, Chiron used to be classified as an asteroid, but then was later reclassified as a minor planet. It was discovered in 1977 for you history buffs, and it orbits between Saturn and Uranus. And the whole thing that it represents is about trauma, and healing that trauma. Chiron's named after the centaur from the Greek myth, which is, I think he was known as the wounded healer. Trained Achilles, Hercules, all that cool shit. And yeah, this is a time, with it being in retrograde, this is definitely like a time of catharsis, really kind of diving in deep. And the body's going to, the thing with trauma, I feel like, the body deals with it when it's ready. It's one of those things, I feel like you don't have to force it, but you'll feel it as things start to bubble up. Just, I feel like, pay close attention. It's yeah, because it's in retrograde to the 23rd, so got plenty of time. Take this time to really kind of, while we're in this hermit moment, love it, while we're in this hermit moment, are there some things that that are like, covering your sunshine? What's diminishing this light? Because once you've gone through those things, dealt with that, and treat yourself first, before I get onto that point, treat yourself with compassion, while you're dealing with these things. These traumas are a part of you for a reason, and they're not weaknesses. These are there to help you deal so that you can grow, so that you can take the compassion that you've learned to give for yourself into this situation, and then when you see others going through it, you can present that like, hey, it's not that bad. He's wearing his trauma on his sleeve. He's like, listen, this is what I went through, but look what I got out of it. I got the strength of the ocean. So, that's something to consider with while Chiron is in retrograde, and just during retrograde season in general, because there's still 4 planets in retrograde. Mars will be, what, we're not going to trip. That's future talk. We're in the present right now, Gemini. Lastly, I'm going to start doing, when the news is a little lighter, I'm going to start introducing some aspects. And aspects are how planets relate to one another in the solar system, if they're, depending on how many degrees they are. So, for example, the sun is trine with Mars. And what that pretty much means is trine is 120 degrees apart from Mars. Or at least that's the difference, or the distance between. Oh, it has something to do with the orb and some other things. That's the fun thing about the news. We're going to build up on these things as we go. But with the sun being in Mars, this is like, you might be feeling that, like this impetus to just like do stuff. Maybe go find that. I don't know why. You know what? You're chilling. You might find this impetus to go find your son, for example. It's just this impulse to want to do things, and I feel like this is a good time, maybe go, while we're looking for pockets of sunshine, maybe go plant a garden, or just get a plant. I'm meaning to get a plant. Start little things. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm about to go, I don't know, build a house. No, start, maybe clean up around the house. Maybe it's time to get the shutters out, or, get this, whatever it is, this is a good time to do it. So, whatever that looks like for you. And then lastly, Venus is square with Pluto. And so that means it's at a 90 degree, or it's 90 degrees apart. And for the sun being trine with Mars, that effect's going to last. You'll feel that energy at least until the 26th of this month. And then with Venus being square with Pluto, that you'll feel that effect at least to the 25th of this month. And that's more about drawing awareness to any sort of dissonance or discord in relationships. So if you got like little things where it's like, like maybe someone doesn't pick up after themselves, or has a tendency to throw cards everywhere, doesn't use a coaster when they're drinking tea, so rude. Whatever that looks like, it's bringing that awareness to like, maybe let's not, I get it. It's one of the, if you've just been like, oh, it's not a big deal, like we don't need to talk about it. But then one day it becomes a big deal. Just the one thing, and then it just like all those weeks of not dealing with it come out. This is like, let's not give that person like the whole shittiness. Let's start with, I feel like a very good way to establish a safe space with it is just like invite a conversation, just like, hey, I was just thinking, is there I haven't checked in with us. Have we, this could be your partner, your friend, whatever we have you. Is there any way that I've pissed you off this week? Or is there anything that I've offended you in some kind of way? And then that allows that avenue of reciprocity, because now they're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Have I done anything towards you? And look at that growth. I don't have anything for that. But growth happens. So, yeah, that's I like that, Gemini. I feel like we're in a good place, but thank you for sticking around with me and for doing so. I'm going to pull one surprise card at the bottom here. See what we got. Nice. Two of Disc. And the Two of Disc is about change. And it's about change in the sense of like, again, dealing with that kind of that ebb and flow of life, you know, because life is always happening. You know, time is constantly moving. Things don't stay still. And I feel like this is you trying to find that harmony. You know, when we're in the bad times, we're in it, but we're not staying focused in it. And then when we're in that light, getting our fortune. You know, because this is Jupiter in Capricorn. So during the hard times, we got to put in a little work. You know, but in the good times, we're basking in the sun. So. And I feel like really with this card, the sweet spot is right there. You know, right in the center there. When those two things kind of come together and you're really kind of manifesting, you're really in that priestess energy. So that's what we're getting with the Two of Discs. Change is on the horizon. Change is constantly happening. You know, it's only as bad as you make it, you know. So don't, you know, go with the flow, relax, you know. Can you imagine not changing, being the same person you were in high school that you are now? Yikes. I know, and I say that yikes for me. So I don't know where you're at. You've been like, hell yeah. But, which, not judging you. Judgment free zone here. But no, whenever you're ready to get that sun, Gemini, I am here. So I'll leave that. I won't hold you any longer. Thanks again for being here. I hope you have an awesome week. And I'll see you on the next one. Later.